Hello, welcome to another episode of Galaxy Gardens. My name is Chrissy and today we'll be making some black garlic. I have some already to go, so let me go ahead and show you that. But I also have another batch already made that we're going to be using in a couple dishes today. So let's get this all filled up and we'll head outside. Before we head out, look how much garlic we still have left, and we've been trying really hard to get through it. This is a lot. Our garlic this year should come in July, and it's about the end of February right now. So this just needs to last us at least like 5 more months. This is not an ad, but Greg got me this for my birthday. It's pretty great. You finish, take this tray out, load it up with your garlic, put it in here and press a button. So let's get all of our garlic in here. All right, here we go. You can see all the garlic's in there. Ideally you want it up and down where the roots are in the holes, but it's okay if it's a little sideways. And then we're just gonna put it in here and shut this. And then we just gotta plug it in. If you're transporting this to a new area and you hear some stuff rolling around, just open it up, make sure they're all in their little spots. So I already hit this, but what you want to do is hold it for a few seconds, put it in standby mode, click it one more time, there you go. It'll keep you updated on the temperature, but it's gonna go for 288 hours or 12 days. This would be best with fresh garlic, so if we did this back in July, but the garlic we did a couple weeks ago came out fantastic. So let's head back inside, I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. So I thought I could show you the ones we brought in already, all different sizes. So we have a bigger head of garlic here, smaller one here. But what's pretty cool about the black garlic is that it's a kind of low and slow fermentation process. And once you're done, the paper covering just comes right off. You don't have to, get fancy with it. And there you are. It just comes right out. So I'm gonna go through these. I already gave some away. The machine I have, I believe, does 16 at a time. And it all just comes out like that. It's a very caramelized flavor. That's also a bit sweet. So it's really great in soup, in sauces, and what we're gonna do today. So I have a couple recipes in mind. One is a flavored butter, and the other one is a focaccia. We still have some hot peppers in the freezer, so I thought if we cut up some of these cloves and some of the hot peppers, it would be a pretty nice treat for dinner tonight. But these are great. So the smaller end, they're a little bit harder. I actually haven't opened up one of the larger ones yet, but right when they're fresh, especially on the larger heads. And these have been in the fridge as well. Yeah, this one's definitely gonna be perfect. So let me go ahead and cut this open. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. I hope you can see that okay. So you can see the inside, it's gone all the way through. They're a bit drier than I was hoping they would come out. So I think what I'm gonna do for this next batch is check on them at like the 9 or 10 day point and see where they're at. But these are great because I could still chop them up. I could throw them in the blender and make a powder and actually dehydrate them further if I wanted to. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna finish up getting through these garlic heads, and then actually gotta get some yeast going for the focaccia. So let me get all that going, and I'll meet you back here. I have all the black garlic ready to go, and I'm gonna show it to you in a second, but I wanna tell you a story. So we went out to eat the other day, and this restaurant we went to was selling sides of salsa for $2 each. And as someone who grows a bunch of tomatoes and a bunch of peppers, it was like, I don't wanna pay $2 for a side of salsa. And, you know, I can just make it at home. But, you know, you go out to eat, you do it anyways, because, you know, it's a place we want to give some money. And I feel the same way about black garlic, because if you go to the store, I don't want to say it's expensive, because I don't think I spent that much when I bought it one time. But since we grow so much garlic and we can just do this at home, I feel way more comfortable just using it in bulk than I would if I bought it. So let's go check this out. My lighting over here is a little bit better. So this is all of those cloves. You can hear just how dry they are. Now when you make this, you can keep it in the fridge for a couple weeks, or I believe in the freezer for about 6 months, but we're gonna use ours before that. It's really cool. So I'm just gonna pulse this in the blender because they are dry. I don't wanna, you know, have any knife accidents. But that's all of it. I mean, like I said, I gave some away and I already used some. So this is probably, I should have counted it at the beginning, I think like 8 heads of garlic. Not bad, and it's gonna be perfect for what we use it for. Also, it has such a licoricey kind of scent. It smells really good. It reminds me of if you make pork belly burnt ends with like caramelized sugars on there. It smells really good. So let me get this pulsed up. I'll show you what we're doing. Okie dokie, so you can see it blends quite nice. I just pulsed the blender 3 times. You can see it's a little bit chunky. I just put a few in here. Gonna let it go a little bit more, and then we're gonna bring it over here and mix it up with some butter. And I only did 1 stick of butter in here because they always make too much, and we really don't need that much. So this amount will be perfect for the 1 stick, and then that's fantastic on, you know, any kind of toast or spreads you want to do. It's funny, it almost looks like I put coffee beans in there, but you know, you want to make some fancy butter, just soften up your butter, and you're going to mix everything in, and then we're going to get a piece of parchment paper, reassemble it into a stick of butter shape, and put it in the fridge, and then you can use it whenever. You can add a little salt to this if you want. This is unsalted butter. And it's easy as that. So let me finish this. Got my yeast going for the next thing we're gonna do. And then we got some dough going. All right, we got a little parchment here. Just gonna give this a little mix before we put it on there. All right. Just put this on a cracker. And that's pretty easy. Take your parchment paper. You can roll it up, make it into a stick shape, whatever you want. Oh, let me get a piece of tape, hold on. Let's take this up. fridge. That did nothing. That's all right. Let me just twist this up. I guess don't need this. There you go. So this, I'll cut the excess off here, but I'll put that in the fridge to firm up. And yeah, that'll be good in the fridge for, yeah, probably another couple weeks, month. You can put in the fridge for, or excuse me, the freezer for like 2-3 months. But if you make this, I'm sure you'll use it a lot sooner. When you're making flavored butters, I do recommend leaving in the fridge for at least a few days for all those flavors to blend in together. It's just gonna make it a lot better of an experience. We're gonna move on to the next thing we're making today, which is a focaccia. We still have our hot peppers in the freezer, so I'm gonna make a hot pepper black garlic focaccia. And the black garlic, for how dry it is, it's a little drier than I expected, it's actually gonna soak up a lot of the moisture in the focaccia, and they'll rehydrate a little bit, so it's gonna be fantastic when it comes out. You can see our yeast has bloomed, it's ready to go, so let's blend up the rest of this garlic, add our flour in here, and get our focaccia going. Man, these peppers look good. We didn't really have a pepper year this year. This is pretty much all we got because of the smoke from the fires in Canada, and we got a lot of rain. So great to use for stuff like focaccia, so I'm just gonna take out probably a handful of this. I like my 3 cup of flour recipes, so you don't need as much as you might, you know, if you were making it in bulk. So let's take a little bit out of here, chop it up, and then we'll put everything together. So we got our yeast in here. We used about 1 1/4 teaspoons of yeast for a little bit less than a 1/4 cup of water that was warm. We're using 2.5 cups of flour. I'm just using all-purpose flour. A little bit of salt. I warmed up our peppers because I don't want to cool down the yeast. I want them to be active, but they're not. Yeah, they're not so hot. It's going to damage it, so it's going to put those in. A lot of recipes want you to put your additions in generally after the first rise, if not later. I just like to throw them in all together. So I'm gonna mix this up and then we'll put the black garlic in. I'm using King Arthur flour, and sometimes it needs a little bit of extra liquid, but that's okay. So I got an initial stir going on, and then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of olive oil. Get a lot of olive oil in this to get a good focaccia. And I may have had another focaccia video in the past. That's what we're gonna do. Just get a rough mix. And I can tell already it might need a little bit more water, so I'm gonna go get that. You gotta know the type of flours that you're working with. Some of them you need to add in a little bit less water. Some of them are very thirsty and you gotta add in a little bit more. So take that into account when you're doing your recipes. All right, so you have a rough mix here. Let's throw in our black garlic. Looks like chocolate chips. I'm gonna save a little bit for the top. Let's see how this does. And yes, this is a bread dough, so I'm gonna knead it, but I like to get our rough mix going first before we get too far. All right, get my ring off. I have clean hands. All right, and I'll just knead all of my doughs right in the bowl. I don't need to clean a whole countertop because it's gonna be rising in this bowl also. So we got a nice mini focaccia loaf. There's just 2 of us, so we don't need a bunch of food like that. Get some of that in there. And there's so much olive oil actually in the dough, it's not gonna stick to your bowl when it rises. Now, if you're using yeast packets for this, you're gonna use half a yeast packet. If you're just doing measurement, like you have those little yeast jars, then like I said, 1 1/4 teaspoon. This is gonna be gorgeous, oh my goodness. And I love making spicy focaccia too. Just something about it. Wow, this is gonna be really, really nice. So this is together enough. We're gonna knead it a little bit more when it's done. Let's get this in a nice little shape here. There you go, nice mini loaf. Isn't that pretty? So we're gonna let this rise for an hour. We'll come back, put it in the oven, and meet you on the other side. I can't get over this, it's so pretty. I love the peppers in there. So I'm actually gonna turn on my oven now and put a towel over this and let it rise on the stove because it'll be pretty warm over here. Yeah, this is gonna be some good focaccia. A little bit more olive oil for good measure. You're not gonna have a good focaccia if you do not use a lot of olive oil. So if you're counting your calories, this is not the dish to do it in, okay? You can definitely portion what you're gonna eat after, but as far as making it, you're not cutting corners. And I got my towel on here. I'm gonna get the oven on, and this should rise hopefully in less than an hour. This does have 2 rising times, so this first oven on that we're gonna do, I'm just gonna have it down. Oh, come on. Down at 200, and then we'll let this do its thing. Then we're gonna put it in here, let it rise again, and then we'll put it up to baking temp. It's been an hour. Let's turn the timer off. And our dough has risen. Let's get that in focus. Look how pretty that is. So what we're gonna do now is put some more olive oil in the pan. And you might be asking yourself, hey, that's a glass pan. Why'd you put foil on it? It was mostly clean, but there's a couple parts that weren't like the most clean. And last time we used this was to feed the chickens, so you don't want any nasty chicken whatever in here. So I put foil on it. Oh, it's easy. Let's just get that in there. All right. And we're just gonna spread it out. Oh, I had to hit my tripod here. Okay, I'm actually gonna flip it over. That's gonna look really nice. Let me flip it one more time. Greg, this is gonna come out so good. Do you see this?
Looks good.
I'm so excited. All right, so you're just gonna smush it. There you go. And then this is the important part for this particular focaccia recipe. You need to get in there with your fingers and actually break through to the other side. Like poke holes all the way through. Because this is gonna rise again. And you get a nice scraggly look. Now this is gonna be different from some other recipes you might see I have a little bit more of an intense, I guess, bubbling. I'm sure you've seen the videos I have. All right. This is not that kind of recipe. This is a different recipe. This is a recipe I've been using for years, and it comes out really, really good. Although a sourdough focaccia would be really good. But I'm gonna get my sourdough going now. Okay. So there you go. Wipe off my hands here. Now we're gonna cover this up again and let this rise for another hour. Now that we are on the second rising, we're gonna put it up to 425 and let that keep heating up. And then this will rise again. Here's our focaccia an hour later. You can see it has risen quite a bit, and it's kept all of those marks that we made in there. So now what I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of salt on the top and a little bit of the black garlic powder. And we're gonna bake this for about 25 to 30 minutes. So we'll reconvene once it's done. The oven just beeped and the focaccia is ready to go. So I wanna take it out. We'll let it cool down for a second and then let's break into it. This is great. Nice brown crust. Oh, it looks awesome. Now this is a little bit different from other types of focaccias. This is more like Sicilian style. It looks like it came out really, really nice. There's a top view for you. Perfect. Not even 3 cups of flour, 2.5 cups of flour. And you got a full focaccia there. It's finally time. Let's go ahead and get a knife. I'm gonna scooch this over. There you go. Beautiful. Nice and crunchy. That's awesome. Flaky. Full of good stuff. Let's give it a try. We got a corn piece here. Wow. I love a good spicy focaccia. This would be great to dip in some sauce. The black garlic, so good. Well, thanks for joining me while we went through our black garlic, started using it in a couple recipes, and got another round going. If you're growing your garlic for yourself this year, it's a really great way to use it up. I would recommend getting a black garlic machine because the alternative would be like using a toaster oven or something like that for 2 weeks, and that's not fire safe. But you can use a lot at once. If you have a lot of smaller cloves that are hard to open up, definitely do this method, and the cloves are really easy to get out. And yeah, it's just really tasty. And now that it's actually in the focaccia and it soaked up all the moisture, those bits that were like a little bit harder when they came out of the fridge, they softened up and they're really, really tasty in there. Although really spicy. I think I probably could have done half as many peppers, but still gonna be really good. I'm gonna enjoy that loaf the rest of this week. We're almost at the time where we're gonna do our seed starting and get through everything. If you wanna get a head start on that, check out some of the older videos. where I went through garden planning and seed starting tips. Otherwise, we'll go through it again this year. Until next time, I hope you stay well, and we'll see you in the future. Bye.